Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is Selina. Welcome back to one of my tutorials. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Selina and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm bringing to you this lovely, super chunky, dusty pink cowl featuring 3 wooden buttons. This is a super easy crochet project to make. And the free pattern and lots of pictures will be on my blog selinaveronique.com, so don't forget to check that out. For this project I used 2 skeins of Big Value Big by Cowl, and I used 1 full skein and a bit of the second one, so you could definitely make a headband to match this project. I absolutely love this yarn. You could substitute it with Bernat super chunky yarn. I will be linking all of this in the description box, of course, and on my blog, so don't worry. And this is a super chunky yarn. It is 100% acrylic and it calls for a 15mm crochet hook. It's in shade Dusty Pink. And I used a 15mm crochet hook for this project. You will also be needing a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle, along with some wooden buttons. So this wooden button is from Amazon. It features a beautiful floral design. And I used 3 buttons. I believe that they are 25mm large, and that's what you will be needing. And I used darning thread and needle to sew the buttons onto the project. So this is a really beginner friendly project. I hope you enjoy it. I will be using US terms with British terms in brackets. So to begin this project, you will be making a slip knot. So just go ahead and create your slip knot like so. Pop your hook through and tighten. And now we are going to be chaining 14. So go ahead and chain 14. 1, 2, 3. So I have chained less for my sample, but the principle will be the exact same. So now what we will be doing is counting 1, 2, 3 chains from the hook, and in that 3rd chain we will be placing a half double crochet. So wrap your yarn around your hook, go into that 3rd chain, pull your yarn through. You've got 3 loops on your hook, and take your yarn and pull through all 3 loops, and you are going to be placing a half double crochet into the 2nd chain, pulling up a loop and going through all 3 loops, and then go into the next chain and place a half double crochet into that, and you will be placing a half double crochet into each and every chain across until the end of your chain, and then I'll show you how to do row 2. So this is my first row. Obviously you should have a much longer project, but this is just a sample. So what I am going to be doing for row 2 is chaining 1. So chain 1, turn your work, and this chain 1 counts as your turning chain. And now what we will be doing is to create that knit-like look, we are going to be placing a half double crochet, not where we would usually do that. So I'm just going to take my hook out to show you. So normally we would just go through one of, like this, we would go through this stitch here, like this, and we would have 2 first strands on through which we were going to go, if that makes sense. But for this stitch we are going to be going into this front loop. So I'm just going to show you. I hope this makes sense. It will make a lot more sense once we start doing it, but I thought I would show you like that. So don't go through this, don't go through this, these loops. Go through this one here at the front. So I'm just going to demonstrate this. It was just because I thought this would be simpler to understand. So now that we've chained one, we are going to go into the first stitch here. So just wrap your yarn around your hook for a half double crochet and go through that front loop, pull up a loop and go through all 3 loops to complete your half double crochet. Now go through the next stitch and the next stitch and the next stitch, and carry on doing that until you reach the end of the row, and then I'll show you what to do then. So I've almost finished this row. So for this row only, we will be going, so we've finished almost. We've got the chain 2 from the previous row through which we need to place a half double crochet. So just place a half double crochet into that chain 2, and this is what it should look like. So now for the next row, we are going to be chaining 1, and this is our turning chain, and this time we are going to be going through the back loop only. So again, I'm just going to show you this. So these are the 2 strands through which we would usually go, but we will be going this time through only the back loop. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate this. So this is our turning chain, so we're going to go into the back loop of that first stitch here. So wrap your yarn around your hook, go into that first stitch here, the back loop only, pull up a loop and finish off your half double crochet. Go into the next stitch, back loop only, and do the same, and the next stitch, and the next stitch, and the next, and just carry on until the end of this row. So this is what it looks like. So this time we didn't have a chain 2 from the previous row, obviously, because we have turning chains for this pattern. So I just went through the last stitch to finish off this row. And now what we are going to be doing is chaining 1, and again, this is our turning chain, so it does not count as a stitch. And we are simply going to repeat the row 2, which was go through this front loop here with half double crochets. So just go ahead and go through that front stitch and just carry this on until the end of the row. And this time for this row we won't have a chain 2 from the previous row, because obviously we've only got full stitches right now. So just go through that last stitch here. It's a bit more tricky. There we go. There we go. Just going to go through that last stitch, and this is what it should look like. And you see the front is starting to have this lovely knit-like pattern. So now for the next row, just chain 1, this is a turning chain, and just simply go through the back loop only with half double crochets. So this is a very simple repeat of these 2 rows. So it's very easy, so just carry on repeating these 2 rows over and over. If you need more help, just rewind this video. Okay, so for this project you will need 29 rows in total of this stitch. So just go ahead and carry on the pattern that I've just demonstrated until you have 39 rows in total. And then once you have 39 rows, this is what it should look like. Again, the measurements will be on my blog, selinaveronique.com, so don't forget to head over there. Once you have 39 rows, you will be fastening off, so just tie a knot, snip off your yarn, and this is the result that you should have. So now that we've got our project, we are going to finish it and place and sew it in. So flip it round like this so that this is the wrong side of the rows facing, and now you are going to be placing this part like this, and then you are going to place this on top, so you have this V shape. So this is what it looks like, and obviously this is where your head will be, and this will be covering your neck, and this is what we should have. And again, this stitch does tend to curl a bit, so I don't mind, but if you did mind, you could block your project. So yeah, so I don't mind my project curling a bit, but here we go. So once you have your project like this, we are going, so I am going to be sewing this part in. So I'm going to use this long tail just to secure this part together. I'll be showing you step by step, and I might just pop a little piece of yarn here again, sewing it here. This is just my personal choice. We will be adding the buttons on top, and for myself, I'm going to add the buttons just so that they have a decorative effect. However, you could place your buttons here, for instance, so that they actually have the effect of buttoning your cowl, if that makes sense. So if you sewed your buttons here, then that would be good for that. However, I just want it to have a very neat look, so I am simply going to sew this together, and then I'll pop my my buttons on top just to give it that decorative feel. So yeah, I hope this is clear, so just bear with me, and I'm just going to show you how to sew this together. Okay, so I've got my tapestry needle. I hope you can see on camera. I've popped my yarn through. Obviously this is an extra chunky yarn, so it's a bit difficult, but it should be fine. So now that I've popped this through, we are going to be sewing, like I said, this part together. So just go ahead, and I'm going to be using the mattress stitch. However, you can use whichever stitch you prefer. So the mattress stitch is just very seamless. So the mattress stitch is just going in one side, and then you are simply going to go through the other side like so. So as I said, this is a chunky yarn, so it can be slightly tricky to sew it, but just take your time for a neat finish. And there you go. So this is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm just going to let you carry this on until you reach the end of the seam, and I'll show you how I fasten off. Okay, so I finished sewing this in. So I'm just going to finish this part off and tie a knot. So just create a knot as best you can. Okay, so I finished sewing this part in, I tied a knot, and then I sewed this part in, and now I'm just going to pop this yarn here. So this is at the top of the neck, just so as to secure it slightly. So just go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and tie this on the back panel. And now I'm just going to secure a small stitch. So just, you don't need to sew this in loads, if that makes sense. Just go ahead and sew it in just so that it's a bit more secure. So I'm just going to put 2 stitches in, and then I'm just going to fasten off and tidy up this loose end, and I'll get back to you to show you how to sew on your buttons. Okay, so this is what I have. I've actually turned the top of this project just to create a little lapel, which is really pretty, but this is obviously optional. You just I just did this, you know. So yeah, so I'm really excited, and I've placed my buttons like so. So I've got 3 wooden buttons, which are quite large. So I will be linking these in the down bar with the exact measurements of these buttons, but they're wooden painted floral buttons. And so yeah, I've got my darning needle and thread, and I'm just simply going to go behind this part and start sewing this in. So I'm just going to let you do this. Just go ahead and sew in your buttons.